welcome back and welcome to another book versus movie video. I've been promising this one for a little while now, and I reread this book and watched the movie of this book in the booktubeathon. So I did it all in one go. And of course, that book is One Day by David Nicholls. For forever, people said to me, oh, what's your favourite book? I always used to say this one. I read it before I started blogging, definitely before I started BookTube. And so I hadn't read a lot of other contenders, and somebody asked me recently, do you think it would still be one of your favourite books if you picked it up now? And I said, well, I don't know. And having read it, I'm a bit like, it's still really good and I really enjoyed the reread of it, but do I love it as much as I did back then? I just don't know. I think I can appreciate different aspects of it now because I have read a lot of other books like this. So it's 20 Years, Two People. The book revisits Dexter and Emma on St. Swithin's Day, over the course of 20 years. So we see them graduate from university, and then it goes right through to 20 years later when their lives are very different. And I have read a lot of other books like this since then, and I really like this format. So yeah, when I found out there was going to be a film of this novel, I was so excited, and I actually went to the Friday morning showing of when the film was released. I was in Glasgow and I was needing to be back in Yorkshire that day, so I went to the first showing. I went by myself because I didn't know other people who wanted to see it with me. I mean, that's not unusual for me, but at the time it was a little bit more unusual. And I just remember feeling really disappointed and telling everybody, don't see the film, read the book. And obviously, as with most things, I still believe that the book is better than the film. However, having done a rewatch, I can appreciate some good qualities about the film. I think I was just so scarred by my experience the first time. I have rejected it ever since then, and it's been one of the strongest opinions that I have on a book versus movie thing. However, yeah, having read the book and watched the film literally back to back, I can now see points where, yeah, actually the film was pretty good. The first thing, good, okay, pretty okay. The first thing that I really liked and appreciated, because I read them back to back, read and watched them back to back, was how closely this book was adhered to in the film. Obviously the script was written by David Nicholls, which again I don't think I noticed when I went to see it the first time, but the script's written by David Nicholls, and so the characters in the film literally quote the book word for word. So we have lines and pieces of dialogue that I loved from the book being in the film. So if you're looking for a film that really closely matches the storyline and the dialogue and the character reactions that you get in the book, then this is it sticks to it really closely. The other thing that I enjoyed about the film this time around was seeing Dexter change over time. So Dexter changes probably more significantly than Emma does over the course of the book, and his changes are very much up and down. So, you know, we might visit him one year and he's had a lot of success, and we might visit him another year and he's had less success, and things change and move about. I never want to give spoilers, but that's kind of the general pattern. And I really liked the way that they showed his successes and his failures in the film, and again they felt to me almost as dramatic as they felt in the book, and they felt almost as emotional as they felt in the book. I thought the actor did a good job of obviously following how people's interpretation of the character would be when they read the book, because everybody's going to interpret it differently. We know that in books to films, but yeah, I liked the way that Dexter was portrayed, and the changes in his character over the course of the book were done really well in the film, I think. Okay, so obviously those are my positives. Still think the book's better, but I mean, the overarching thing is that the book made me like bawl my eyes out and just absolutely broke my heart. Whereas the film didn't do that. I didn't cry the first time I saw it, and I didn't cry when I rewatched it last week. And I think that's just because with the book, you have such a long build-up. This book is over 400 pages. The film is an hour and a half. So you have such a long build-up in the book that you're just more invested in the characters. You're just more invested in seeing them have a happy ending. You are just more invested in the storyline and even the secondary characters. And so I think that to me the disappointment was I was expecting to go to this film and cry at more than one point, and I just didn't. And I reread the book, and because I knew what was going to happen, having read the book once already and watched the film once already, again, this time I didn't cry. However, it still had an emotional hold on me, and I was still transfixed, even though I had read it before, despite the fact that it was a long time ago. And so I think that's where the film kind of falls short for me. And then, of course, we have the fact that this is the thing that everybody criticises. Emma Morley is from Yorkshire. She should have a Yorkshire accent, and people just didn't like the way Anne Hathaway plays her in the film. Now, she is more like a kind of, I don't know, everyday, normal person than I remember watching it the first time around. She gets really criticised. Well, the film gets really criticised for the portrayal of Emma Morley, and she still does really, really let it down for me. She does not have a Yorkshire accent. There are words that have Yorkshire inflections, and you know, I've not lived in Yorkshire for 7 years, and yet there are still, you know, words that I say much more Yorkshire than she does. I lived in Glasgow, she lived in Edinburgh. That's not the way you use you lose your Yorkshire accent. I then lived in London and I still didn't lose my Yorkshire accent, and so I can't see a reason for her not having a Yorkshire accent. But I do think that when we see the Emma Morley in the early days, when, you know, she's got slightly questionable hair choices and is feeling a little bit insecure about her dreams and ambitions and relationships, I do think she does seem like a much more real person than I think she gets rap for in the media. I think people are like, no, she looks too much like an actress, she sounds too much like an actress, this isn't the Emma Morley that we read about in the book. But I do think that she is quite a real looking woman. But I think a lot of people fell so in love with her in the book, it was always going to be a massively difficult task to portray her on the screen. Should they have possibly got an actual Yorkshire actress, or even an English accent actress who could put on a Yorkshire accent? Possibly, yes. But yeah, I think she's it's kind of less of a massive problem than other people would make out. But still, Anne Hathaway playing Emma Morley just lets it down. It does let it down. I had forgotten, as a little aside, how much happens. So in the very last section of the book, or the last couple of times we revisit these characters in the last 2 years. I think it's probably the last 2 years, or there's a bit of a flashback. And I thought that bit in the film, the very, very, very last little bit of the film, was actually really good, and kind of does give an honour to the last little bit of the book. I think it does pay tribute to it really well. So yeah, the overarching thing here is it's not as bad as I thought it was. Having reread and rewatched, and I think that people who've only seen it once maybe far away from when they've read the book, do judge it a little too harshly, but still read the book. The book will make you cry if you haven't read it before, and then maybe go away and watch the film. Don't watch the film and judge the whole story based on the film. Like, read the book. Listen to the book. I reread this book via audio. It was great. It was a really good audiobook. Read the book. Yeah, but the film isn't as bad as everybody said it is. Okay, I will be back with another video for you soon, so make sure you're subscribed so that that lands in your subscription feed. If you enjoyed this video, obviously give it a thumbs up, and let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments. And as always, if there are book to movie adaptations you would like me to cover here on this channel, I am more than willing to go away and do like I did with this one, read the book and watch the film. I am more than willing to do that and make a video talking all about it. So yes, leave me a comment and let me know. And I will see you with my next video.